With the expansion of employment services at MAB-Mackay, we now have a total of 5 staff. I had asked each of them to come up with a special project that they were passionate about and that they'd like to spearhead. Eliana had told me that she was in contact with Canada World Youth and explained that every year they send a group of youths to various countries to engage in international cooperation work.
And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if there was a program specifically for youth who are hard of hearing? So then I decided to approach Canada World Youth and propose an idea.
In many ways, I've been looking to give back after having been a recipient of a lot of support and assistance from the Mackay Rehabilitation Center. I lost a good portion of my hearing in the early 90s in an accident. Society is conditioned to think in terms of what people can't do. So for people with disabilities, they're defined by that disability as opposed to this iceberg where most of their character is hidden. So I said, let's set that aside. And then we began to be very creative about what kind of exceptional learning opportunity might these youth avail themselves of.
Firstly, we had an interpreter who came on the entire program. So during all educational days, she was around to interpret all activities. She was also available if youth wanted to bring her to their family dinner, or whether she was available for conversations with counterparts. She was always there, which was really great.
So this was a project that was designed specifically with these youth in mind, saying what kind of support, how do we create conditions for success for these youth?
We also made the program, our activities, we tailored them to be more visual. We found that the youth on the program were highly visual, so having activities that really catered to that. Shifted our programs from kind of more all-day conversations, auditory learning, to really experiential visual activities.
So it was very positive because they were all together. If one hard of hearing or deaf youth was placed in a group of hearing youths, it would not be ideal. The impact would be less. With a group composed of deaf and hard of hearing youths, communication is automatically accessible. With so much in common, they have a lot to talk about. A hard of hearing youth in a hearing group wouldn't be able to follow discussions. It'd be impossible to lip read everyone. With hard of hearing and deaf together, understanding is automatic. It's just, the impact is awesome. Plus, the supervisor's mindset changes when they address a group of hard of hearing or deaf youths. They face the group and enunciate clearly to facilitate communication, and they make sure the interpreter is always present. So the quality of the activities improve.
Prior to our group entering the community, we had someone work with host families. They taught them Kenyan Sign Language.
Did I wish you a very enjoyable time here? I believe that you're going to learn a lot. We are also eagerly waiting to learn a lot. We've started learning sign language.
All families knew how to spell a few words and say thank you and you're welcome. So it was wonderful to see.
The community of Kimende was specially chosen. The community was assessed for safety and how we thought the community would be excited about this group, and so KENVO, the organization, was really excited about this initiative, so that was part of the reason.
This is the day that we give you the parents that will be taking care of you for the next couple of weeks.
Host families were so excited because they knew that it was a pilot project. They knew that they were going to be the first community who was going to host a Canada World Youth group of individuals who were all selected because there maybe isn't the same access to programs for individuals who are hard of hearing or deaf.
I witnessed more learning in the community than I have before. A lot of the community members mentioned how they were really surprised, like a Western or white or Canadians had different abilities. They were surprised, they were like, you have deaf Canadians? We thought everyone in Canada was fully abled and perfect. We were really shocked to see that there have Canadians who have different struggles.
I learned more about their sign language. I learned that the only difference we have between us and them is just they can talk, but we are the same.
The reality is quite different for those deaf communities in Canada as it is in Kenya, but seeing it very differently and being open to it being a community that's has a lot of power or has a lot of fun and as opposed to something to feel sorry for. So that really shifted shifted their way of seeing the deaf and hard of hearing community.
I learned about diversity, and I was like, it was awesome working with them, and it was great opportunity to have them because I've never worked with an deaf person. We could have fun. I didn't know that like a deaf can make jokes, but I came to learn that they do make jokes, and you can still like understand when they are making jokes. Yeah.
One of the deaf volunteers himself said, "I didn't feel labeled as disabled at all. Surprisingly, I just felt welcome."
There's a segment of the population, and this is people with various disabilities, that are the approach of our society is to look at what their needs are, to make their lives as comfortable as possible. What services can we offer? But we're not tapping into the huge potential they have to actually better our society, help us evolve as a society. It is an immense waste of potential. It's probably the most important thing that I could say about that is all of us, and I include myself, have to rethink the way that we engage parts of our population. And this is one where it is ripe for change. And a program like this is important because I think sometimes the absence of a concrete solution discourages people from trying to work harder on that. Canada World Youth doesn't pretend to have all the answers, but we're working on engaging youth to have them help articulate, right, what are we going to need to move into the next century.
Watch the web series and join these 9 deaf and hard of hearing youths as they volunteer on community development projects in Kimende, Kenya.